Guys, as much as we talk about and share about our abusive and toxic relationships, can we also acknowledge and talk about how we manifested those relationships? I'm just thinking about how I personally manifested my 10-year toxic and abusive relationship. Before I met this guy, I had been a single mom for probably 7 years, and I was exhausted. I was tired, I was frustrated, and I was stressed. I was tired of being the provider. I was tired of taking care of my son. I was tired of paying my mortgage. I was tired of doing everything on my own, and I just needed a break. At that time, I needed someone to just come and rescue me. I didn't want to do anything. I'd even resigned from my job because I was just tired of waking up, going to a job that I hated, working for so long and so hard, with very little in return. And I remember thinking, I just want someone to take care of me. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay in bed and eat. Those were my thoughts. Those were my words. And guess what? The universe said, your word, your desire, your thoughts are my command. And the universe delivered. But wait a minute. What kind of man is okay with you just sitting in bed and eating? What kind of a man is okay for you to do absolutely nothing and enable that? It's a toxic man. It's most likely a narcissist. So this guy showed up in my life. At the time, it felt and it seemed like my knight in shining armor. He did everything for me for like a good 6 months. And I was paying for it for the rest of the 10 years. He showed up exactly how I imagined, not wanting me to go anywhere, not wanting me to do anything, doing absolutely everything for me. He was a nice guy. For those of you that haven't seen my video on nice guys, go back and watch my video on nice people. Then you will understand why this person was so nice. And I was taken because at the time he seemed to be the solution that I had been seeking. And that's the danger of seeking solutions outward when everything you need is actually inside of you. So anyway, yes, this guy showed up, and guess what? Whenever I did leave the house without him, he would follow me. And I found this out a while after having been in a relationship with him, when he would retell places I had gone and things I had done. And I was like, but wait a minute, how do you know? And he was like, maybe I was there. And that's when I realized, damn, this person is following me. And at the time, I was actually chuffed. I thought, oh my, this guy must really love me. He's following me, wants to make sure that I'm okay. Not only that, he didn't want me doing anything. After the 6 months, he wouldn't give me the things that I needed. He wouldn't pay my mortgage. He wouldn't pay my son's fees like he had done before. He wouldn't provide me with the bare minimums that I needed as a woman. And he still wouldn't want me to go out and get it. Everything that I tried to do to sustain myself, he would sabotage, He would tell me about how it would be a failure. He would find ways to just deter me from being independent and making my own money and doing my own things. And now I realize that the reason that was happening was because I asked for it. I made an order to the universe, and the universe delivered. They delivered me a toxic, abusive man who didn't want me going anywhere or doing anything because that's what I asked for. Now, granted, I was not specific about how I wanted this to manifest when I said I just wanted to sit at home and do nothing. So yeah, I guess the universe gave me its own interpretation of sitting at home and doing nothing. It's not easy for me to share such personal experiences, that are like failures, my worst moments. But I'm doing this to help somebody. The only way you're truly going to start to heal is when you start to take responsibility for your part in manifesting that toxic or abusive relationship. You need to think back somewhere, somehow, at some time. There was a time when you desired such a relationship, even though you most likely didn't imagine it working out the way that it did. But trust me, if you think back, you will remember there is a time where you wished for the experience that you're having. But obviously, when you had it in mind, you didn't anticipate it playing out as it's playing out now, because no one sits and says, I want to be in an abusive and toxic relationship. That's why I shared how I found myself manifesting that based on my frustration, based on my stress, based on how I just didn't want to do anything. So I always struggled with depression and anxiety. And this was made worse in the relationship. And he enabled me when I couldn't go anywhere. He would bring me breakfast, lunch, and supper. And when people observed this around me, they're like, oh my God, he loves you so much. He takes care of you. But no, he wasn't taking care of me. He was enabling me, because the more inactive I was, the less of a threat I was to him. The more I couldn't do anything to help myself, the more the need for him was created in my life, the more relevant he was in my life. So for me to completely heal, I need to take responsibility for how I was a vibrational match for that experience, for how I literally sat down and manifested that reality for myself. That is where true healing begins. So it doesn't make my ex a good or a bad person. The guy showed up and he played his role, and he played it perfectly. That's why the experience was so dreadful. That's why the experience was so traumatic, because he showed up and he played his role perfectly. So I don't blame him. I'm not saying I blame those that are going through toxic and abusive relationships either. I'm just saying take your power back. I'm just saying take responsibility, be accountable for your part in creating that reality. Because you need to understand that you are the master of your own ship. You are the savior you've been looking for. At any time, you have the power and the ability to change your reality. And the only way to do that is by taking responsibility first and foremost for how you created that reality for yourself, acknowledging what you did wrong, accepting your part in that traumatic experience, and forgiving yourself. Once you forgive yourself, you forgive the partner, you forgive the next person, because remember, we all actors on a stage, and he was just playing the role that you signed a contract with him to play. So he's not a good or a bad person. He's just showing up to manifest what you have visualized, what you have thought, what you have spoken with your words. So forgive the man, let him go with peace and gratitude. Because if you honestly look at it, you're all the better for it. You're a stronger woman because of it. You're a stronger man because of it. Because truly what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. And it empowers and enables you to help the next person who might be going through the same thing without the same awareness that you have. So guys, take responsibility for how you manifest these toxic and abusive relationships. Forgive yourself. Forgive the other party. Let go with peace and gratitude, and start your healing journey. Nithandwa ndim, guys. Amako.